this next part right here, I put this up because I know Fiorella is a big Green New Deal person, and a lot of libertarians, they're not. And I'm not necessarily anybody's Green New Deal, but protections for our environment. I call you a modern-day libertarian because I see you kind of taking where the course of our country has gone and bringing real solutions that might not be the traditionalist libertarian way to fix things. We talked about and pointed out the red tape with small businesses and big corporations. But listen to what Ron Paul says here, and this is a quick soundbite. And then my question to you after, I'll ask real quick, and then you can follow. I'll let Fiorella ask the question, in fact. But take a look at this clip right here, because when Jimmy had on Ron, this is something that really caught my eye. Johnny, go right ahead.
A libertarian believes that you have no right to pollute or damage your neighbor's property. That means air, water, noise, whatever. You just don't have a right to do that because it's an act of aggression. But
there you go.
Okay, so if you don't believe in polluting your neighbor's air, etc., then what is your solution? I guess if it's not the Green New Deal, what can you take to regulate that if you're not for regulations? I guess I'm trying to understand how you would regulate something.
I think what he meant more than anything, or at least what I would do in this case, is raise a consciousness. Back in the days, the students, even from the time that they were younger, had a consciousness, okay, to recycle. Or they had a consciousness, to conserve the water and the electricity and things like that. We don't have that anymore. In fact, it's the other way around. It's an I don't care, or it's a me type of society that we live in nowadays. So there's no respect, let alone, for their elders or their, to have respect for anybody else's, or they're polluting anymore. So I think more than anything is raising a consciousness. And that's what's going to help. If everybody takes their own responsibility for doing that, we're going to have less of the pollution.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, just kind of throw it out there, let it happen. The Koch brothers, who were big-time libertarians, whatnot, they fracked the hell out of this whole freaking country. You know what I'm saying? And they went on fracking and fracking and fracking. And my approach has been, listen, I think a lot of libertarians feel that the progressives it's not that they don't necessarily believe in climate change. I think they hate the alarmistness about it. That's what libertarians always tell me. Well, you guys are being totally alarmist about the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Could that be something? Is it the rhetoric that the progressives use, whatnot? Because no matter what, I think we can all agree, libertarian, progressive, that oil and water don't mix. And as we frack, we're putting oil in our water everywhere. But why is it let to kind of go on?
I'm with you when it comes to that 100%.
Okay.
People don't realize that we're really hurting. We're hurting our environment as it is with what it is that we're doing. We are causing the pollutions. Is there really a need for it? We should be able to look for different measures and different innovations in order to have less of that. Not necessarily as like the Democratic candidates who want to do away with, the cars altogether, nothing to that extreme. But it's, again, raising a consciousness that there is an issue, being able to sit with both sides and try to find a middle ground. I think at the end of the day, if we don't do that, we can sit here and argue, whether it should be a new deal or it should be a blue deal or a green deal. Do you understand what I mean? It doesn't matter what you call it. I mean, we saw it with the healthcare. What have we gotten?
Yeah, but what should be the government role?
Can I say something? Obama, and now it's what?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of issues. It's not about who came up with it or who didn't. It's a matter of sitting with everybody, trying to find a middle ground, and actually finding solutions, like you said. The difference between me and others is that I guess you say I bring in a lot of common sense just because of everyday experiences. I'm an average person just like anybody else.
Okay, so let me push back for a minute, though, because I feel like we do need actual solutions. And I agree with you that, people are arguing to see which way it goes. Now, Democrats don't want to eliminate cars. That's not the reality. Most of these Democrats take oil money. They take fracking. They have, they serve fracking lobbyists. It is people like Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard who are focused on, for instance, her Off Fossil Fuels Act, which was far better than even what AOC implemented, which was the Green New Deal under her. It is a solution. It puts the economy in a way to serve the needs that are now going to happen, because you talk about middle ground. Is there time for middle ground? I'm all about science, and science is telling us we don't have time to kind of just simply wait for people's consciousness to raise. I agree that we do need to raise consciousness, that I think people are in a very me driven society. But once again, that all stems from capitalism. Like, capitalism pits you against your competitor. Capitalism.
No, don't get me wrong. I didn't mean that we're just going to wait it out and see what's going to happen and have a consciousness. No. What I mean is that everybody brings in a good idea to the table. And it's a matter of sitting down and figuring out how can we put those ideas together. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian. Each person, you can find something, that you can agree with them on.
Sure.
So you shouldn't have to wait until a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian get in office to find those solutions. If you can start doing it from now, and you start doing it even at a local level.
Absolutely.
Here in Miami-Dade County, our city, Miami mayor already has been, nationwide talking about the innovations that he wants to do and the things that he wants to do in order to bring the city forward and to gear away from fossil fuel and whatnot. If we raise a consciousness at a local level, see, that's the difference between the libertarians. We focus more on the local level, knowing that it's from the local level that stems out everywhere else. So that's very important.